We are presenting unemployment and utility. We're going to be teaching about. So structural unemployment, the first type we're going to go over, that's the form of unemployment where the basic definition is that a given wage rate, the quantity of labor supplied exceeds the quantity of labor demanded. Basically what that means is there's a fundamental mismatch or any given situation where the structure of how it's set up does not favor the individual. The example that's given here is supposedly if, say, there's a group of welders in Cleveland that are out of work because all the welding jobs are in Texas or something like that, and because relocation and like retraining to adapt to whatever jobs are available like in someone's given location, since that's difficult, structural unemployment is something that can be really hard to remedy. And the next type of unemployment is frictional unemployment. That's where there's a time period between when a worker is searching for a job. So it's basically that adjustment period. Some examples: anyone who decides to quit their job to look for a new one before they start a new one, they're frictionally unemployed. New workers entering the labor force are unemployed, as well as college graduates and stay-at-home parents re-entering the workforce. Anyone who's getting back into it, that is considered frictionally unemployed. And the next type is seasonal unemployment, which basically is as it sounds. There are certain months of the year that someone has certain jobs, and that can change. It usually has to do with like weather. So if someone runs like a snowplow company or something, like usually you would be seasonally unemployed during the summer years, as well as like school teachers are even considered seasonally unemployed during the summer. So, and also agricultural industry is another big one. So cyclical unemployment basically follows the basic standard of what people think of unemployment with the cycles of the economy. So when there's a recession, there's usually a lot of people are unemployed, a lot of people are looking for work. So that's the basic surplus in the labor force. So yes, tied with the current state in the economy, as the economy goes through recessions and recovery and that whole process and expansion, that's what leads to cyclical unemployment. So for calculating the rate of unemployment, all you need to do is take the number of unemployed workers divided by the civilian labor force. Whatever that percentage is that you get, that is your rate of unemployment. So in terms of counting the labor force, and which is one reason why some people consider the unemployment rate not always so accurate, is it doesn't count discouraged workers. So anyone who's kind of discouraged from not finding a job, so they stop looking, they're not considered a part of the labor force, therefore not a part of unemployment, as well as the other people that aren't counted in labor force are the retired, those who are too young to work, and so that's also why discouraged workers are considered the hidden unemployment.
So now we'll talk about the law of diminishing marginal utility. What this means is that there will be a decrease in marginal utility with each additional product purchased. The marginal utility is the additional amount of satisfaction gained from one additional unit of a product consumed. An example of diminished marginal utility would be food at a buffet. When you go up and get your first plate, it's really satisfying and you like it. Then you go up for seconds, and maybe you're fuller, and it's not as satisfying. So you'll say your marginal utility decreases. And you go back for your third and fourth plates, it's even less enticing. So your marginal utility is still decreasing.
Now we're going to talk about utility maximization. The utility maximization rule is the marginal utility of good X over the price of good X equals the marginal utility of good Y over the price of Y. And basically utility maximization is the law stating that people will consume more of an item with greater utility and less of an item with lower utility in order to maximize their utility, which is total consumer satisfaction. So I have an example problem of utility maximization using chocolate bars and ice cream cones. So chocolate bars are $8 and ice cream cones are $4, and the budget of a consumer is $52. And each unit of each good has a specific number of marginal utility. So what you want to do to solve these problems is to start with the first purchase the item with the greatest utility, which would be a chocolate bar for $8, which because their marginal utility is 56. So then you take that. When you buy a chocolate bar, you subtract the price of the chocolate bar from your budget, which is $8. So 52 minus 8 is 44. So you have $44 left, and then you go down the list. So the next highest marginal utility out of both ice cream cones and chocolate bars is 48, another chocolate bar. So you're going to circle that, and then subtract another $8 from your budget. So then you're left with $36. So then you're going to keep going down the list just like we did before. And if you see, chocolate bars and ice cream cones both have an equal number of marginal utility of 32. So you can just, it doesn't matter which one you pick. You could just pick whichever one. So let's just go with an ice cream cone. And we'll subtract $4, leaving us with $32. And then we'll go back to chocolate bars because they have the same number of utility. We'll subtract $8, leaving us with $24. So we have $24 left, and we're going to keep going on the list. The ice cream cone has the next greatest number of marginal utility of 28, so we're going to subtract $4, leaving us with $20. So with our $20 budget left, if you see, chocolate bars and ice cream cones both have the next largest number of utility. They're both equal of 24. So we can just pick a random one. Let's just say chocolate bar. We'll subtract $8, leaving us with $12 left. And then we'll go back and get another ice cream cone because that one's also $12. Subtracting 4, leaving us with $8. And if you see, the next highest marginal utility are both equal again of 20. So we're just going to pick a chocolate bar for $8, leaving us with a budget of $0 and leaving us buying 5 units of chocolate bars and 3 ice cream cones in order to maximize our utility.